He says, arise from the dead and Messiah shall shine on you. This is the whole purpose of it. Listen to the next verse. See then that you walk exactly, not as the unwise, but as the wise. See, this isn't talking about end times, although it is, because if you don't do these things, you're not going to be where you want to be at the end time. You may find yourself in a place you didn't want to be at the end time. But he's telling us, wake up, so that when you walk, listen, exactly. We like to walk kind of, sort of. Well, you know, I'm doing the Sabbath, kind of. I'm keeping the feasts, sort of. Are you even aware of what exactly looks like? If you listen to the teachings, you'll hear a lot about exactly. As a matter of fact, we have a teaching with that word in it called follow the pattern exactly, which comes from Exodus 25:9. Some of you are thinking, how do you remember that, Rabbi? Well, because that's my whole ministry was called Follow the Pattern Ministries once upon a time. Exodus 25:9, which says, it's on the right-hand page, left-hand column on my book, okay. According to all that I show you, the pattern of the dwelling place and the pattern of all its furnishings, make it exactly so. Moses is being told how to build the tabernacle. And he's told, this thing, that you're building, I want you to do it according to the pattern that I showed you. So what pattern did he show him? He showed him the pattern in the heavenlies. The above needs to come into the below and be done exactly. You know, we have in the model prayer, Father, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? So we're told to build the tabernacle. Moses told to build the tabernacle exactly according to the pattern. 1 Corinthians 6. All right? 1 Corinthians 6. And in verse 19, he says, do you not know that your body is the dwelling place of the set-apart Spirit, who is in you, which you have from Elohim, and you are not your own, because you were bought with a price. Therefore, esteem Elohim in your body and in your spirit, which are of Elohim. See how these things are all connected. You may want to go back and listen to the Follow the Pattern teaching. It's an old one. We may need to redo it, okay? Just to make it 47 parts instead of one, because who wants one part? Okay. But do you see the connections to where we are here in Ephesians? See, if you put enough stuff in, when he says something, you can go, ooh, that sounds like something else that was said very similar. I wonder if they're connected. See then that you walk exactly, build a dwelling place exactly. Do you not know that you're the dwelling place? That you were bought with a price. You are not your own. You belong to him. All of that connects together. Some of you thinking, well, I don't know how to do that. I could never do that. You got to be awake. You got to be discipled. You can learn to do that. The Ruach can do all those things in your head if you put that stuff in your head. And don't argue against it, but be openly ready to receive everything that's there. This is the important thing. You have to be ready to go through this whole process. And that comes through going underneath, submitting underneath, finding yourself a teacher. Because you're all thinking, well, I can't do what you do, Rabbi, but you're not the teacher. You don't need to do what I do. This doesn't make me better than you or anything. This just means it makes me better at this. Because you need someone to do this. What you need is when something's happening in your life, he'll open your mind to connect up the dots that are important for you to make the decision you're about to make. So you might be going to do something on Shabbat you're not sure whether or not you should do. So you should have in your mind things about Shabbat. Like you should know Isaiah 58, the last two verses, which talk about turning your foot away from doing your pleasure on the Shabbat. Because then you ask yourself, am I wanting to do this because it's my pleasure or because it's what he wants? Is it his pleasure? Framework ideas that are in Scripture. And then the Ruach can bring those things together. Am I being, in my efforts, am I being exact about it? We're told to diligently obey. You can't be diligent in a lackadaisical way, in a willy-nilly sort of casual way. You have to be focused.